In the town of Mani, the sun always seemed to rise from behind one particular mango tree. It stood at the edge of the market, its branches heavy with fruit and children's secrets. Under that tree, two girls had grown into young women, Chika and Amara. They were so close that people in Mani said, "If you see one, just greet the other two." From childhood they shared everything: rubber slippers, exercise books, whispered dreams, and roasted corn wrapped in old newspapers. Chika was the quiet one. Her hands were always busy, plaiting hair with neat, tiny lines, patching torn clothes, sketching dresses on the back of old calendars. She saw patterns in everything: the way palm fronds bent in the wind, the way wrappers flared when market women laughed. Amara moved like a song. She was tall, with a laugh that made people turn and smile even if they didn't hear the joke. If Chika was the needle, patient and precise, Amara was the bright thread, bold, visible, impossible to ignore. They both dreamed of leaving Mani one day to become fashion designers in Lagos. "Imagine," Amara would say, lying on the low wall near the mango tree, "our names on billboards at Balagan Market. Chika and Amara Couture." Chika would smile, eyes half closed, already sketching the logo in her mind. "Or Amara and Chika Couture," she would tease. "As long as we're together," Amara would reply. "The order doesn't matter." They made that promise under the mango tree so many times that even the branches seemed to bow in agreement. The year they both turned 21, a poster appeared on the wall of Mama Uzo's provisions shop. It was printed in bright colors, with big, sharp letters: "Young Designers Rising National Fashion Competition. Win a full scholarship to Lagos School of Design." Chika froze, her hand still holding the change Mama Uzo had given her. Amara stepped closer, reading aloud every line, her voice trembling with excitement. "Ha, Chika, this is it. This is our chance." They carried the poster to the mango tree like holy news. That evening, as the harmattan breeze made the tree's leaves whisper, they read every detail. Applicants must be between 18 and 25. Submit 3 original designs inspired by African heritage. 10 finalists will be invited to Lagos. 1 winner gets a full scholarship. "One winner," Chika said quietly. Amara waved her hand. "Don't start. We will both enter. If I win, you'll still be proud. The sky is wide enough for many birds to fly." Chika nodded. She believed her. They agreed to help each other, just like always. They would practice together at the tailoring shed behind Chika's house, where her mother kept an old black singer machine that still sang when you turned the wheel. For weeks, the shed became their world. By day, they mended people's clothes for small money. By night, they stitched their dreams together with candlelight. Chika's designs were subtle but powerful: wrapper skirts that flowed like river water, tops that echoed the curve of calabashes, necklines inspired by the clean lines of village compounds. Amara's designs entered the room before she did. Bold colors, dramatic sleeves, and unexpected mixes of ankara and lace. "Your hands are blessed, my daughter," Chika's mother often said, watching her. "God put a tailor's eye in your fingers." Sometimes she said it too loudly. Market women began to whisper, "Chika's clothes, Anne. One day you'll see them on television." And that her friend, Amara. "She is fine, but Chika has the gift." Most of the time, Amara laughed it off. "People talk," she would shrug. Let them talk. But at night, when she went home and lay on her mat, the words did not leave so easily. They curled in the corners of her room like shadows. "Chika has the gift. Chika has the gift." One evening, as they worked on their final sketches, their tailoring mentor, old Madame Ello, came to check on them. She examined their drawings with her sharp eyes. "You two," she said, are like the two edges of a good scissors. One edge may think it is sharper, but without the other, no cloth will ever be cut. She tapped Chica's sheet. This one, this design with the pleats like palm leaves. It is special. Don't lose it. Amara heard the word special and felt something tighten in her chest. She smiled, but it felt like holding a bowl with a crack. The deadline for submission was 2 days away. Each applicant had to bring 3 finished garments to the town hall, where coordinators from Lagos would inspect and photograph them. Chika had barely slept, but her pieces were almost perfect. The palm leaf pleated dress in particular looked like something that had stepped out of a dream. Amara's garments were striking too, but as she compared them to Chika's in the dim light of the shed, doubt gnawed at her. What if, a quiet voice inside her began, what if they only choose Chika? What if this is your one chance and you watch it walk away on someone else's shoulders? She pushed the thought away, but it came back. Stronger. That night, the generator in Chika's compound broke down. The entire street fell into darkness, thin lanterns glowing like stubborn stars. Chika yawned, rubbing her eyes. I'll finish the hemming tomorrow, she said, covering her garments carefully with a clean bedsheet. I'm too tired. If I stitch one more line, I'll sew my own hand. Amara laughed. Go and sleep, Abig. You've done enough for today. Chika walked her out. Come early tomorrow, she said. We'll iron everything and go to the town hall together. I'll be here, Amara promised. But she did not go home immediately. She stood outside the compound, heart thumping. The night was quiet. Somewhere a goat dragged its rope. A baby cried and was quickly hushed. Inside, the shed was still open. The sheet covered the garments like a secret. Amara knew every stitch under that sheet. She had watched the pieces come to life. She knew how people's eyes widened whenever that palm leaf dress was mentioned. She stepped into the shed. Just look, she whispered to herself. I'm only looking. Her hand lifted the sheet. There it was. The dress almost glowed in the weak lantern light. Every pleat lay obediently in place, like a choir of palm fronds bowing in the wind. Amara reached out and touched the fabric. Her fingers trembled. What if this dress doesn't make it to the judging? The dark voice whispered. What if you present something similar instead? You have worked hard too. Don't you deserve a chance? Her thoughts ran wild. If Chika's best dress was ruined, her chances would drop. If Amara quickly copied the main elements into her own design overnight, who would know? Had they not always shared ideas? She stared at the needle stuck in the pincushion. No, she said out loud, her voice barely a breath. She is my friend, but jealousy is like a small fire on dry grass. Once it starts, it doesn't ask for permission to spread. Amara moved quickly, as if someone else were controlling her hands. She took the palm leaf dress, folded it gently and placed it at the bottom of an old sack of discarded fabrics in the corner. Just for tomorrow, she told herself. Just so they don't see it first. I will still bring my own ideas. I am not stealing. I'm only balancing things. Her throat felt dry. She did not notice the single mango leaf that had fluttered in through the open window, landing near the sack. The next morning, Chika woke with a song in her mouth. Today is the beginning, she told her mother. She hurried to the shed. Amara already waiting outside with her own clothes on a hanger. You're even earlier than me, Chika smiled. We'll go together. She pulled off the bedsheet with a small flourish and froze. 2 of the dresses lay where she left them. The palm leaf dress was gone. Chika blinked. She checked under the table, behind the machine, along the wall. Her hands began to shake. No, no, no. Amara watched, heart thudding so loudly she was afraid Chika would hear it. Maybe your mother moved it, she offered. Mama never touches my things, Chica whispered, panic rising in her chest. It was here. I covered it. Her eyes glistened. We can report it, Amara said quickly. Maybe someone stole it in the night. Nikub is not as safe as before. Chica sank onto the low stool. I spent 3 weeks on that dress, she said, voice breaking. It was my best work. Now what will I do? Her mother rushed in, drawn by the commotion. After searching with them, she wiped her forehead helplessly. My daughter, if you go with the other 2 designs, maybe they will still consider you. God sees everything. Chica nodded slowly. Bring the other 2, she said to Amara. We'll go. Amara swallowed. Her garments suddenly felt heavy in her hands. As they walked to the town hall, Chica was silent. The road that had always led to their shared future now felt like a path splitting in 2. The town hall buzzed with young designers from nearby villages and towns. Colorful fabrics draped over arms and mannequins. Nervous laughter filled the air as coordinators called out names and collected forms. A banner hung at the front. Young designers rising. Chica and Amara stood side by side as their turn approached. Name? The woman with a clipboard asked. Chica Okafor, Chica replied. Amara Nwosu, Amara said. The woman took pictures of their garments, wrote down notes and placed tags on each piece. A man with glasses and a tape measure around his neck walked slowly along the line of garments, occasionally stopping to study a detail. When he reached Amara's section, he paused. He pointed at one of her dresses, a pleated piece with an arrangement that strongly echoed the palm leaf design. Amara's heart stopped. This is interesting, he said. Palm leaves, yes? I like this structure. Where did you get the idea? My village, Amara stammered. We have many palm trees. I wanted to honor them. He nodded approvingly and scribbled something on his paper. Chica, standing a few feet away, looked at the dress with a strange, hollow expression. Something about the pleats, the rhythm, the shape at the waist. Her mind flashed back to her own missing dress. She took a step closer. Amara, she said softly, this design, it looks very familiar. Amara's mouth went dry. The world has many palm trees, she said lightly, without looking at her. Yes, Chica replied, her voice even quieter. But this one feels like the tree behind my house. Their eyes met for a brief, sharp moment before another coordinator called out, next. Hours later, the judges announced the 10 finalists who would be invited to Lagos for the final stage. They read the list slowly. Number 7. Amara Nwosu from Mani. The hall erupted into applause and murmurs. Chica clapped, but her hands felt numb. She wasn't on the list. Amara turned to her, eyes shining with a mix of joy and something like apology. Chica, she began. Chica managed a small smile that did not reach her eyes. Congratulations, she said, voice steady but distant. Truly, you deserved it. Her words floated between them, light as smoke and just as hard to hold. In African towns, news travels faster than motorcycles. By evening, all of Mani knew that Amara had been selected as a finalist for a big competition in Lagos. People clapped her on the back, saying, "Our own Lagos designer, oh, and don't forget us when you become big." Some added with a shrug, "Chica too tried. But you know, fate chooses who it wants." That night, Madame Ello sat alone under the mango tree, thinking. Something about the pattern of the day troubled her. She had seen many apprentices, many designs, many quiet rivalries. She remembered the palm leaf dress she had praised, the one she had seen in Chica's hands. She also remembered the dress they praised at the town hall, in Amara's hands. They were too similar. The next morning, she went to see Chica. When she entered the shed, she noticed the old sack in the corner. A single mango leaf lay on top, fresh and green. Instinct, built from decades of sewing and solving small mysteries, nudged her. She pulled the sack open. There it was, the missing dress, folded carefully at the bottom. "Jesus have mercy," she whispered. She called Chica and her mother. "Who put this here?" she asked. Chica stared, hands flying to her mouth. "I didn't. I would never hide my own work," she said. Her mother raised trembling hands. "I have not touched this place since yesterday morning." They were all silent. A breeze passed through the mango tree outside, scattering a few leaves. Madame Ello straightened up. "In our place," she said quietly, "we say the tree cannot speak, but its leaves can testify. Somebody came here in the night with jealousy in their pocket. And that person is not far from you, Chica." Her words settled heavily in the small shed. Later that day, Madame Ello sent a message for Amara to meet her under the mango tree. Amara came, dressed in a new wrapper, her hair braided neatly. She was already imagining Lagos, the noise, the lights, the smell of perfume instead of palm oil. She greeted Madame Ello and sat down. "Congratulations, my daughter," the old woman said calmly. "You have made Moob proud." "Thank you, Mama," Amara replied, smiling. "I have one question," Madame Ello continued, "and I want you to answer it in front of your friend." She beckoned to the side. From behind the tree, Chica stepped forward. Amara's smile vanished. "Yesterday," Madame Ello said, "we found something in the tailoring shed. The dress with the palm leaves. The one I praised. It was hidden in a sack. Yet, I saw a similar dress in your collection at the town hall." She looked straight at Amara. "Tell me the truth. Whose idea is that dress?" Silence. Amara felt the ground tilt. Her throat burned. I was inspired too," she began weakly. "We worked together. Ideas flowed both ways. Is idea not free?" Chica's eyes filled with tears. "Free?" she repeated. "You hid my dress, Amara. You watched me search for it. You saw me submit without it. And then you presented the same idea as your own." Amara's chest tightened. "I was afraid," she burst out. "Everyone kept saying you had the gift. Always you. Your mother, Madame Ello, the market women. I began to feel like a shadow standing beside you. When I saw that dress, I knew the judges would choose you. And then, what about me? What about all my own dreams? I only wanted a chance too." Chica's tears spilled over. "Your chance was never my enemy," she said softly. "We could have both tried with our own work. If you had asked, I would have helped you. But you chose to break the bridge between us just to cross alone." Madame Ello shook her head slowly. "My daughters," she said, "jealousy is a small knife. It doesn't just cut the person you pointed at. It cuts the hand that holds it too." She turned to Amara. "You must make this right. Not because of the competition, but because of the person you used to call sister." The choice. The organizers were still in town for 2 more days, finalizing documents before leaving for Lagos with the 10 finalists. That afternoon, under the harsh sun, Amara stood outside their guest house holding her folder of forms. Her legs felt heavy. She knew what she had to do. Inside, the man with glasses looked up, surprised. "Ah, Miss Nwasu," he said. "We were just talking about your palm leaf dress. Very unique." "It is not mine," Amara said, her voice shaking but clear. "I came to confess something." He frowned. "What do you mean?" Amara told him everything. Her words came out in a rush. The missing dress, the hiding, the fear, the copying. She spoke of her love for Chica, their shared dreams, and the bitterness she had allowed to grow like weed in a good garden. By the time she finished, the small office was very quiet. The man sighed deeply and removed his glasses. In Lagos, he said slowly, there are many talented people, but we also look for character. Fashion is not just cloth, it is the soul wearing it. We cannot reward dishonesty. He picked up a pen. I will have to disqualify you, he said, and we will review Miss Okafor's work if she is still willing to be considered. This will go into our report. Lamara nodded. Tears streamed down her face, but for the first time in days, her chest felt slightly lighter. Thank you, she whispered. That is fair. As she left the guest house, she saw Chika standing by the road, clutching a brown envelope. Madame Ello told me to come, Chika said quietly. She said I should not throw away my chance because someone misused theirs. Amara swallowed. They know now, she said. I told them everything. You might still go to Lagos. Chika looked at her, eyes full of pain and something else, sorrow for what they had lost. Why, Amara? She asked, voice barely audible. We promised each other. Under this same sun, in front of that mango tree. Amara sank to the ground, covering her face. I don't have any excuse, she sobbed. Only shame. I was tired of being the friend of the talented one. I wanted, just once, to be the one people talked about. Chika knelt beside her. Do you know, she said slowly, how many times I wished I could speak like you? How many times I hid behind you at parties because you knew how to talk to people and I didn't. I envied you too, Amara, but I never wanted to become your enemy. They remained like that for a while. One crying openly, the other crying quietly, the dust around them marked by falling tears. Finally, Chika stood up. I don't know if our friendship can return to what it was, she said honestly. Trust, once broken, doesn't grow back like hair. It grows slowly, if at all. But I will not hate you. Hate is too heavy to carry to Lagos. A small, crooked smile tugged at Amara's lips despite everything. So you believe you will go? She asked. Chika looked at the envelope in her African hand, then at the sky. I don't know, she said. But I believe my work should at least stand on its own feet. Whatever happens after that, I leave to God. 2 weeks later, a letter arrived at Chika's house. Her mother opened it with trembling fingers while the entire compound watched. Chika had been accepted into the final 10. The judges had reviewed her designs, including the palm leaf dress, and given her the place that had been falsely taken. She was going to Lagos. Mani celebrated. There was jollof rice, music, and dancing. People came to greet Chika, showering her with prayers. Remember us, oh. Make sure you put Mani on the map. Tell them in Lagos that we too know fashion. Amara did not attend the celebration. She stayed in her room, listening to the distant drums, feeling each beat like a question against her ribs. Later that evening, as the sky turned purple and the mango tree cast a long shadow, Chika slipped away from the crowd and walked to Amara's house. She found her sitting outside, staring at nothing. I thought you might come, Amara said quietly. I'm traveling next week, Chika replied. I didn't want to go without seeing you. They sat in silence for a while, the air thick with unspoken memories. The first day of primary school, shared pieces of fried plantain, whispered gossip about boys, nights in the shed drawing patterns by lantern light. I am proud of you, Amara said at last. Even if I am not the one beside you as we always planned, you will be beside me, Chika said softly. In my story, when they ask how I started, I will not erase your name. I will only tell the truth. Amara's eyes filled with tears again. I want to change, she said. I don't know how to stop this feeling that other people's success is my loss. But I want to learn. Maybe I will stay and work with Madame Ello. help train younger girls. Maybe if I give what I have, I will stop thinking there's not enough to go round. Chica nodded. In our language, she said, we say, the river does not drink its own water. Maybe your gift is meant to flow into others. They both stood. Can we ever be like before? Amara asked. Chica looked at her carefully. No, she said gently. We cannot go back to yesterday, but we can see what kind of friendship can live in tomorrow. One with open eyes, not blind trust. One with honest words, even when they are hard. She held out her hand. Are you willing to build that? Amara took it, her grip firm. Yes, she said, even if it takes a lifetime. On the morning Chica left for Lagos, the entire town escorted her to the bus park. She wore a simple, well-tailored dress, her own design, and carried a single box. Before she climbed into the bus, she walked alone to the mango tree. She placed her hand on its rough bark, remembering years of laughter, promises, and one night of silent betrayal. Thank you, she whispered, for listening all these years, for sheltering our dreams even when one of them went astray. A breeze rustled the leaves, as if the tree were answering in a language only the land understood. Unknown to her, Amara stood a little distance away, watching. She had brought a small calabash filled with water and flower petals. When Chica walked back, she placed it at the foot of the tree. In our mother's time, she said, when a friendship broke and was mended, they poured libation and said, let what is washed away be the dirt, not the bond. Chica smiled, her eyes shining. Then let this also be our libation, she said. Let jealousy be the dirt. Let the bond, even if thinner, remain. They embraced, not with the careless closeness of children, but with the careful strength of two young women who had seen how fragile the heart can be. As the bus pulled away, Amara waved until it disappeared down the red road. Life in Mani continued. Amara kept her word. She returned to Madame Elo's shed, this time not as the brightest star in the room, but as a patient mentor. She taught younger girls how to hold a needle, how to measure cloth, and, slowly, how to be content with their own portion of the sky. Sometimes, when a student complained that another girl's work was better, Amara would say, the sky is wide enough for many birds, but if you spend all your time staring at another bird's wings, you'll forget to learn how to use your own. Far away in Lagos, under different kinds of trees and billboards of bright lights, Chica stitched her way into a new future. In interviews, when they asked about her journey, she told them about a small town, a mango tree, and a friendship that taught her that talent without character is a finished dress with a rotten seam. Years later, when people in Mani told the story of Chica the designer, they always added, and she had a friend, Amara. Their friendship almost died because of jealousy, but they both learned. That is why we teach our children. Love your friend's light, but never try to steal it. The sun and the moon both shine just at different times. And the mango tree, still standing at the edge of the market, kept on listening to new secrets, shading new dreams, its leaves whispering the old lesson to anyone who cared to listen. When jealousy enters a friendship, it comes with a knife. But truth, courage and forgiveness can still stitch what is torn, even if the seam will always remember.
If you like this video and wouldn't like to miss other videos, please thumb up for likes and subscribe.